Welcome, everyone, to another episode of What Exit Jersey Stories. I'm Nick Franco, and with me, as always,
Peter Riario.
Welcome, everyone. Last episode, we talked about Action Park.
Yes.
Or Traction Park, Class Action Park, which brings us to the fact of, hey, that documentary is available now on HBO Max.
Out.
Class Action Park.
Did you watch it, Nick?
Not yet. I still have to. Unfortunately, with Roku and Amazon Fire, yet neither one has the whole thing yet with HBO Max. So I'm gonna have to just do it from my phone and cast it.
Yeah, my boss has the same problem that she's unable to access HBO Max, and she really wanted to see it, so it was an issue to watch Class Action Park. Funny enough, though, of course, I watched the Nexium documentary about that sex cult that the girl from what's the TV show? Smallville.
Oh,
remember?
Yes.
You remember her, right? Yeah, that she was recruiting people for that cult. So I watched that, but no, I didn't watch Class Action Park.
I got to put that on the agenda. Like I said, I just have to set up the phone to cast to the TV and off we go.
The reviews were great though for Class Action Park, and so much so that I know one or two people who actually went out and ordered the book that's out on Amazon, which is also getting great reviews. That's written by the founder son of Action Park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely want to pick up that book.
Definitely, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nick, I was even wondering if we could ever even do a part 2 episode of Action Park after both you and I watched the documentary. Have Pat on again, maybe an abbreviated kind of one.
Yeah, we could do a mini-sode.
And furthermore, to talk about what happened to Action Park. In other words, why did it close? We didn't.
Well, I think the last episode we gave you lots of reasons.
Yeah. In other words, the later stages of Action Park, what happened to it, where is it now, sort of thing. I mean, just an idea I think out there that listeners might be interested in.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well. Speaking of books, for today's episode, we're going from the well, let's just put together a ramshackle water park of Action Park to Six Flags Great Adventure. And Tracy had gotten this cool book. It is the
nice.
The Images of America Six Flags Great Adventure book.
That's so crazy. I used to see those books in Barnes and Noble all the time. Yeah. They have a whole section dedicated to, in our case, all Jersey. The different towns in New Jersey and the history and amazing photographs in them. I never knew that they had one specific to Great Adventure.
Yep, they definitely have one specific to Great Adventure. Yeah, I did a lot of researching on this one. I actually used that book, the sixflags.com site, the Asbury Park Press, Wikipedia, Great Adventure.
You interview the creepy old man who does that dance in the videos in the commercials?
We're going to get into that too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and finally, there's a great website for all those interested called greatadventurehistory.com.
Oh, nice.
Someone has been collecting a lot of this stuff. In fact, they reference it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the history, the prehistory, when the dinosaurs ran in the park, and then the actual history of the park itself. Nice. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Great.
So, Pete, tell me what you know about the basis of the generals of Great Adventure.
Well, Jackson, New Jersey, right?
Yep.
And a 45-minute ride from where I'm at, if maybe even less. And it was really in high school. Granted, Action Park, that was my bag.
Yeah, I would definitely get it.
My jam, right? But Great Adventure would be right behind it, is what I would say. As far as the trips we used to take down there, and you and I went one time, I remember, right? With Mr. O, I believe, right?
Oh, to Great Adventure?
Yes.
I think yes.
Or was I with David?
You and I definitely went. I don't think Dave was there.
Okay, so maybe it was another time. I think it was another time I went with Dave to Great Adventure.
Quite possible. Yes.
Almost positive about that, but yeah, I mean, it was a great escape for us New Jerseyans and us high school kids, right? To go to Great Adventure, and And I also remember taking my cousins. It no longer exists, which I'm sure you're going to bring up, the safari park that was attached.
Oh, what do you mean it doesn't exist?
Oh, it does?
Yeah, oh yeah, it does.
Get
Yeah,
out. I thought they
we'll talk
dismantled
about
it.
this. Yeah, no, we'll talk about it.
Oh, all right. I swear to God, I thought that they had dismantled it at one point, but maybe not.
No, well, they revamped things. I'll say
Okay.
that. They revamped it.
Gotcha.
Well, here's a dumb question. Do you know why it was picked to be in Jackson, New Jersey?
They wanted to get away from like the swampland that's near the airport. I have no idea. So it didn't like sink into the ground.
Well, do you know how many miles it is from, say, like New York, from New York City?
Boy, that's a good question. I know it's got to be like a. Is it a fairly good distance or not really?
Decent.
Decent, right? Like, let's call it. Is it the upper, like from Harlem if you're going, or like Midtown Manhattan to get to Great Adventure? Probably take you like an hour and 15, or is it
Right,
more?
But think about miles. Do you know
Yeah.
about how many miles from New York City?
I don't know. I mean, 80, or am I?
You're too many.
Too many.
It's about 60.
Okay, wow, it's closer than I thought. For
Yeah.
some reason, I thought it was a little further.
Now here's another question. Do you know how far it is from Philadelphia?
Oh, I'm beginning to see where you're getting at here. It can't be far at all, because Jackson, I believe, is kind of west, is it not? In New Jersey, or no?
Yeah, a little southwest. Kind of on the center side.
Right.
So
also, let me guess. Also 60 miles.
Bing, 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 bing. It's 60 miles from New York and Pennsylvania.
Wow. So
not Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
They really thought this out to get not only everyone from North and South Jersey, but from Pennsylvania and from New York.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And like it's located on Route 537, which connects to I-95, which connects to both the Turnpike and the Parkway.
Right.
So basically, your main thoroughfares going north, south in New Jersey connect to I-95, which connects to Great Adventure.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a well thought out in that regard.
Yeah.
Of like where to create this park.
Right.
Do you know who created it, or who designed it? Like,
I don't know, and I don't even know. Like, this is going to be an interesting podcast, because I don't know really much of the history of Six Flags, and like whether or not, when they created the New Jersey Six Flags, were there other Six Flags already in place? I'm going to guess yes.
Yes.
In what place did we come in as far as when they decided to build a New Jersey one? How many existing structures were there? How many existing amusement parks were there that belonged to them?
Here's the thing: when Great Adventure was created, it was not Six Flags Great Adventure, and we'll find out why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually created by a gentleman by the name of Warner Leroy. Does that name sound familiar at all?
Warner Leroy? No, it does not.
Okay. Just so you know, a couple of the projects that Leroy took on in his lifetime was Tavern on the Green.
Get out.
And the Russian Tea Room. He didn't create either of them, but he revamped to what we came to know them as.
Yeah, I've been to both. That's interesting.
Yeah, and there are some other nightclubs and places over in the city that he's had his hand in. But Warner Leroy is also the son of Mervyn Leroy. Does that name sound familiar?
No. Is he a sports figure?
No. He was actually a Hollywood producer.
Oh, get out. All right.
You might know him from some movies like Gypsy and The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah, that's a little-known film.
Yeah, not very well known. Something about Golden Roads or some crap or another. He's also the grandson of Harry Warner of Warner Brothers fame.
Oh, geez.
So he comes from a pretty accomplished and how do you want to say a family that dreams big there.
Yes, no question.
So Leroy actually he had an idea to build a theme park and he wanted it to basically be able to compete with something like Disney World. He wanted basically this one-stop destination where people could go, and there would be multiple areas, and it would be a whole complex. Like, in fact, his original plan had like several main pieces. There was an enchanted forest, which was like the theme amusement park with rides, restaurants, theaters, also with lakes and forests, because the land he
Built it
the
on.
land he wound up buying was actually full of forest land and lakes.
Oh,
So it was perfect. It was just what he was looking for. There would also be a safari. Again, you already mentioned it.
yep.
There would be a thing called Neptune's Kingdom, like a lakeside amusement area with like dolphins and killer whales and penguins. Basically, you're kind of like your SeaWorld-ish type of thing.
Okay.
There would be a place called Dream Street with shopping and squares and performers, fountains. There would be a place, I guess, nod to his dad, Over the Rainbow. Basically, like a very like a pastoral area with picnic grounds, petting zoo, exhibits, miniature cities, antique car rides. Then you'd have like a sports and games area with a ice rink, roller rink, swimming pools, and the last one would be Wild Country, where you could go camping.
Oh, nice.
Now, he partnered with a group called Hardwick Companies, and in the 70s, when Great Adventure was being developed, that was an actual boom for the theme park industry. So they wanted to get into that market. They had big dreams, but unfortunately, for what Leroy wanted to do, they ran into so many overruns. They had to scale back the project. So eventually, what we got was the safari in pretty much its full glory,
Right.
combined with the enchanted forest, which would actually now just combine a lot of the aspects, like some of the best aspects of the other areas that Leroy was looking, to design. So, July 1st, 1974, Great Adventure opened with the Enchanted Forest and the Safari Park, ready to go, except for one area called a Rootin' Tootin' Rip Roarin' land that opened a few days later on July 4th.
Okay.
So when it first opened, you had about 22 rides, like 15 adult rides, a couple of coasters, and 5 kiddie rides. And some of the ones that you still know, were introduced way back then. So you had like the carousel. Do you remember the Flying Wave?
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I know it.
Remember the swings that would go up in the air?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the Flying Wave.
Oh, that's what it was called. Okay.
Yep. The Sky Ride.
Yeah.
The Giant Wheel, the Ferris wheel, which when they opened was the largest in the world, along with its matching Schwarzkopf produced wheel at the time. Like the model that it was produced off of was the same size.
Wow.
And how about the log flume?
Yes, I used to love going on the Great Adventure log flume.
That was the big attraction when that opened.
Oh, really?
It was, when Leroy designed this, it was designed to run through a whole wooded peninsula and then finally hit the final drop. And it was actually, when it opened, it was the world's longest flume ride.
Really?
Yes, it was.
I wonder if that still exists. I haven't been back to Great Adventure in so long.
Same here. It's been, truthfully, I think it's been 16 years since I've been back.
Yeah, probably about the same for me. I'm wondering if that log flume's still there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that one probably remained.
Yeah.
I know it's been renamed along the way. But, and then finally, the Runaway Mine Train. Do you remember that coaster?
What was that, the one that was like in those like coal those, like, it was a tiny little like what do you call it? What you sat in?
Yeah, like the little cars. And what you like is part of a train. The
Right.
coaster was a train, and and it did those like you kind of really went on your side like around some of those turns.
Yes.
So yeah, those were the big attractions when it opened.
Mm.
They also opened some other things at the beginning: a bandstand, the Great Arena. That's been used many a time. The Garden of Marvels, which was like a walkthrough area, like of a miniature land, basically a lot of American landmarks and European castles in small scale size with working model trains and boats going through it. And a fountain, which was the world's tallest single water jet fountain in the world at that time.
At that time, yeah.
And finally, an aqua spectacle, which included divers and dolphins.
Huh.
Plus, of course, like your usual theme park fare, some games of chance, souvenir shops, and some sit-down restaurants. That was what Great Adventure looked like to begin with. So, yeah, pretty cool for 1974.
I'd say,
And especially thinking that, hey, you don't have to, spend a bunch, go on a plane ride, go down to Walt Disney World.
Nope.
Hey, this is right in your backyard. Like you said, about a 45-minute from where you are. Yeah. For a nice less than an hour drive, yeah, you could be there and enjoying, some of the fun at Great Adventure.
Yeah, very ambitious, and I mean, a lot of those attractions, just the sound of them alone, I think would elicit a response from people to like, hey, we've got to go check that out.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well, in year 2 of Great Adventure, they actually increased the ride count by 50%. And they also added more of those carnival boardwalk style games. And it became known as the Fortune Festival. Yeah, it was called the Fortune Festival because that became a big source of revenue, too. It's like, win a prize, win a prize. Oh, want to try again? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your typical carnival games of chance. That was a big moneymaker back in those days.
Yeah.
Also, in the second year, there was a few other rides that you might remember too. Remember the Enterprise?
God, I do, but I can't remember what the ride was. Just refresh my memory on that one.
Think of think of a Ferris wheel, but instead of going into like the cars and you're upright and you go up and around, think of you're in a car thing that kind of hangs, and the thing goes up and then starts tilting on its side.
Right.
And it goes around fast.
Yes.
That was
I know I've been on that ride.
Also introduced was the Hydroflume, which was later called the Moon Flume, which was basically a second flume ride where you were in a little boat, which actually featured bigger drops. And the reason it was also this ride was added, it was to relieve congestion on the log flume because people were standing for hours waiting to ride the log flume in its first year. And finally, another one that lasted for a long while was the Rotor. Does that sound familiar?
Yes. Now, if I'm not mistaken on that one, you stood flush straight up against you had whatever it was like. I forgot what the backing was. It might have been like steel mesh or something like that, and it spun around like a top at high speed, and you were just stuck to the wall thanks to gravity.
Yes, centrifugal force, basically.
Yep.
That's what that ride was.
Yes.
Yeah, not for the faint of stomach. Because basically, it went fast enough to pin you against the wall, and then the floor would drop out.
I remember I used to go to a rotor at this carnival that was in Jersey, and the floor would drop out. Did you ever go on one of those?
Yeah, no, that's what I said. The rotor, actually, the floor dropped out as well.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I guess the same concept then throughout.
Yes.
Or, not just Great Adventure, but also on this carnival ride. Yeah.
Correct. Now, also that year, a third coaster was added, but it never opened. It was called the Jumbo Jet. And basically the next year, without any explanation, it was just removed.
What was wrong with it? We don't know.
We don't know. but basically it was removed, taken away, stored for another day. I'm not sure. But and at that time, Leroy was still the designer and creator of Great Adventure, but he was actually starting to lose interest in the park already because he was getting frustrated. The basically day-to-day running it as a business. He was more the dreamer, the designer. Yeah, he wasn't into the business end of it.
Yeah.
Well, 76, they added a few more adult rides, but actually the kids area was moved and expanded into the new thing called Kiddie Kingdom.
Okay.
But that also ended the honeymoon of Leroy. He basically stepped down. There was, I think, from Hardwick, just basically someone from there was basically moved up to management, and they oversaw the rest of 76 and then into 77. 77 was a big year for Great Adventure, not because of rides. They only added one ride in 77. Do you know why 77 was a big year for Great Adventure?
Boy, I don't know. This is probably going to be very logical and easy, and I just can't think of it.
Think of what you asked me at the beginning.
About Action Park.
Nope, not Action Park. Something else about a Great Adventure.
Oh, the Animal Kingdom.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Something about...
What's the name of the park?
What do you mean? What's the name of what park? Like
the full name of the park.
Which? Say it again.
What is the full name of the park?
Oh, Six Flags.
There we go. 77. It was purchased by Six Flags.
Oh, now I see.
Six Flags was actually in the business of purchasing. Yeah, Six Flags originally started and created a couple of theme parks. In fact, their first park was in Texas in August of 1961. That was their first park. But later on, they were actually taken over by Penn Central Corporation, a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Railroad. And they figured, well, why build new parks when someone else could do it for us? Let's just buy existing parks.
Right.
And that's what they did. And they saw Great Adventure as a great investment. And hence, Six Flags Great Adventure was born. Now, here's the question. Do you know why it's called Six Flags?
Each flag represents a different state? I don't know.
Nope.
Six Flags.
Each flag does represent something, not a different state.
I don't know. Their own unique roller coaster. I have no idea.
Well, it actually represents the 6 different countries that govern Texas. The place where Six Flags started.
Okay.
Can you actually name the 6 countries that govern Texas?
No.
There's a couple of easy ones. Where is it now?
The 6 countries that govern Texas, you said?
Yep, 6 countries.
Countries as in, like, international.
A country, as in called
France.
A country. Yep, France
Mexico.
is one. What's that?
Mexico.
Yep, Mexico. France, Mexico. Good.
Louisiana.
Nope.
No.
But you're on a strange thought process there. Think of that.
All the states that border Texas, or no? Except for France. Just kidding.
What was that? What's that last one?
No, I said Louisiana as a joke. I mean, it's not a country. France. All. Oh boy. Not Sweden.
No. Here, I'll give you. It's like, okay, France, Mexico. Another one, European one, was Spain.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's the United States.
Correct.
Before it was in the United States, you know what it was also? The Republic of Texas.
Oh, yes, right.
It was a country.
Okay.
That's a big-ass state. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They were actually a country.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 860s, it was also part of the Confederate States of America, unfortunately. But
right.
those are the 6 countries that actually covered Texas.
Wow.
And that's what Six Flags stands for.
I had no idea.
I didn't either until I researched this thing.
Fascinating. Yeah.
One other cool thing in 77, besides being purchased by Six Flags, they started construction on this cool twin interlocking loop roller coaster. Want to guess its name?
Lightning Loops.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Which would basically open the next year in 78. The first year under Six Flags management.
I remember, I think when I first saw it, there was only one loop, right?
No, it was actually twin interlocking loops.
It was twins? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But didn't they have a roller coaster there that was just one loop and went to the top and then back up, or, went backwards into that loop?
Yeah, that's what they did. It was actually 2 loops.
But it was 2, all right.
It was basically 2 coasters, but it was one coaster, one ride.
Gotcha.
So you went on to one or the other. And it did the same thing. Yes, you went, fast and through a giant loop to the top, and then came backwards through the same loop.
Through the same loop. All right.
Yep. Now, before 78 hit, and like Lightning Loops, they also had this thing called the Great Parade, which actually included Marvel superheroes, and they also had a puppet theater, but no Spinal Tap.
Oh, bummer.
Yes. Now, once Six Flags hit, things started taking off. Besides Lightning Loops, Six Flags thought, let's add some of the other rides at some of the other Six Flags parks, like the big rides that you would go on, like the Buccaneer, the big pirate ship.
Yes, I've been on that.
Tilt-A-Whirl. What do you call it? Let's add a big wooden roller coaster, and let's call it what can go with Lightning Loops, but Rolling Thunder.
Yes, I was on that roller coaster.
I loved it. Yeah, it was the park's first wooden racing coaster.
I really liked that one too. It was very like rickety, but still like a lot of fun.
I think at top speed it went about 60 miles an hour, so it was fast. But wasn't some of the breakneck speeds of some of the other coasters that you could actually do today. And we'll even speak about a couple of them on here. They also introduced things like the Super Roundup. They did a nightly fireworks show. They introduced Roaring Rapids. Remember
Totally
Roaring
remember
Rapids? That. Remember when we were talking about Action Park? They had a rapid thing, but a lot of people got hurt. The Great Adventure version, not so much. They actually designed it in a safe way.
Yeah. They should have. Action Park should have hired their engineers.
Yeah, well, again, the genius engineers, genius with a J, that did Action Park. I don't know what physics or science they used to create those rides. But the last thing that they created, a haunted house.
I remember. I was in that.
Oh,
before, something happened.
Talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
Okay. Also in 1980, they actually introduced also Oktoberfest, which included an authentic festhall, from Hanover, Germany, which later on came back as the Festhaus. And basically, the attendance at Great Adventure was soaring. A lot of these new rides, new attractions, the fireworks show, haunted house, and at the Great Arena, they started having concerts.
Yeah.
In fact, in 1981, the attendance soared so much, especially with some of these concerts, that it caused traffic jams on 537 that backed up to I-95, or I should say backed up I-95 all the way back to the turnpike.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how crazy it got.
Incredible.
Now, the next season, they started out, the Fortune Festival Games area in the off-season had gotten destroyed by a fire. So in its place came Good Time Alley, which was bigger, better, with state-of-the-art games and new restaurants. And as part of Good Time Alley and as part of the park, they added another video arcade because the video game industry was heating up. Now, I got to tell you, the first time that I went to Great Adventure, I probably spent most of the time in the
In the
arcade
arcade?
because they had. I remember reading the old like electronic games or electronic fun
Yes.
with computers and games magazines,
Yep.
and I remember reading about all these great arcade games. I'm like, and around here there were some cool arcades, but I heard about all these new ones like Zaxxon and
Yep.
Frogger, and like some of these ones that I hadn't seen around here. You found it down there.
Yeah. I've been in the
And
arcade.
you know what? Also, you found at those arcades.
Laserdisc games.
Oh yeah, but they would make their way there as well. But you found plenty of Pac-Man cabinets
Oh, okay.
because Six Flags was then purchased by Bally's.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, no, they
Huh.
they were purchased in, I believe it was 1982 by Bally's.
Wow.
So yeah, you found plenty of Pac-Man game cabinets around the park. Now, the following season brought. Do you remember Free Fall?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that ride too. That was like the equivalent of like the Tower of Terror, at MGM.
Yeah,
Well, when it was called
basically,
MGM.
it was the precursor to that.
Precursor.
And all the other like drop tower rides.
Yep.
The first ones were these free fall rides. You only had, I think, like 2 or 4 people in your car, and you went straight up, you came out, and basically drop, but you were on a track, on the drop, and then you would flow kind of like, it would pick you back up and take you forward.
Mm-hmm.
I remember though, free fall. There were like rumors that like of accidents that had happened on free fall. Do you remember that?
On free fall? No, I didn't hear any accidents about that particular ride.
I had heard that there was an accident where like a girl's like hair, like,
oh my God, it got ripped off. Like,
yeah, but apparently I looked into this. That was not the case.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. But on some of the other because again, when Six Flags introduced a ride, sometimes they would introduce a similar ride at some of their other parks.
Mm-hmm.
There was an incident of on free fall at another park, not with the hair, but actually feet.
Oh, wow.
Which was pretty tragic. And another one where 2 of the things crashed.
Jeez.
Yeah. But now at Great Adventure, they introduced free fall, a parachute perch, the Great Lake Grandstand, and the water ski show, which became precursors to some of the other shows that you would see.
Mm.
And Kitty Kingdom was modernized and became Shirt Tails Land. Remember the Shirt Tails? I think that was from the Hallmark Company, and it was like a cartoon, the Shirt Tails.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It was a kid's toy at the time, and I just remember it's like okay, well, yeah, that was Kitty Kingdom. But 84, they also introduced the Sarajevo bobsled roller coaster. Some other things happened in 84,
mm-hmm.
including May 11th, 1984. Do you know what happened on May 11th, 1984 at Great Adventure?
I'm gonna guess that was the haunted house.
Yes, it was. Do you know exactly what had happened, or?
Well, from what I understood, like the fire code inside that place was just atrocious, right? And what
like
was it something that
foam on the walls, like that foam rubber stuff,
right? So that it burned. I mean, much more so than another product that could have been used, right? Or building material. So,
and
how did the fire start? I don't even remember that. I just,
Well, they said that they think that one of the teenagers, basically 8 teenagers, died in this fire.
Mm.
And they think one of the teenagers had lit a lighter because it was incredibly dark in the haunted castle.
This is beginning to sound familiar now, yeah.
Basically, they lit it and it ignited the foam rubber. But do you know that this incident actually changed the entire theme park industry for fire safety regulations?
Wow, I did not know that.
Nationwide, these things were beefed up.
Mm.
Pete, I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, I didn't do anything different. That's weird.
That is strange.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's gone. Okay. But basically, yeah, the fire safety regulations were beefed up nationwide in response to this incident at Great Adventure. And basically, Great Adventure did a safety sweep through the remaining parts of the park to make sure nothing like this would ever happen. And of course, park attendance dropped by 20%.
Yeah. I thought that that death toll was higher than that. But I mean,
No,
I still distinctly remember hearing the news, and I was just
it is too
horrified because
much.
I had been through through that haunted house,
Yeah.
maybe about a year or two before, I want to say.
Scary thing, actually, one of the guys that I went to high school with, Tom Barrett, he had posted that he remembers being online for the haunted house when it went up in flames.
God, unbelievable.
That's scary.
Yeah. And I don't think they ever rebuilt it, right? I mean, they may have had like outdoor events, or I might be wrong even on that.
Well, again, we'll get into Fright Fest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the the haunted castle as it was never
never restored.
But the following season, they had added fire protection equipment, sprinklers, a central station, and a big water tower with a slogan "We care about you." And the water tower was to increase the pressure for all the necessary sprinklers. And 84, Six Flags purchased Great America, another park, which held the license for the Looney Tunes characters from. Do you know what company that is?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. It's going to go into spiral into some weird things with this too. But Looney Tunes Land replaced Churchill's Land for the kids, and some other rides were added, such as the Looping Starship, and a Japanese designed ride, the Ultra Twister roller coaster, was the first of its kind, and that came to the park in '85. It was the first of its kind because it included a vertical lift, vertical drop, and several heartline spiral inversions while traveling forward and backward.
Wow.
I never got to ride that one, though.
Nor did I.
But go another year later, unfortunately, safety became a concern again, because on March 31st, '86, 3 park goers were stabbed in 2 separate incidents, including an attempted robbery on Easter Sunday.
Wow.
Well, come '87, they added the Splashwater Falls ride. Do you remember that one? That basically, if you walked out onto that bridge in front of the ride, you would get soaked.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, '87 did that, and they fixed the safety issues, or maybe they didn't. Because on April 19th, 1987, for the second consecutive Easter Sunday, patrons were assaulted, 2 park goers were stabbed, and another was shot.
Boy.
So basically, as a result, Six Flags Great Adventure installed metal detectors at the park entrance.
Smart idea.
But thankfully, that was the worst thing to happen in '87. No, it wasn't. Do you remember what else happened in 1987 at Great Adventure?
Great Adventure. Was it a roller coaster incident or no?
Yes, it was.
Somebody fell out of lightning loops, or am I wrong on that?
You're right.
Yeah.
June 17th, 1987, a 19-year-old woman fell from lightning loops
Now,
because they determined that the guy that started the ride, he started it without checking the restraints.
Oh my God. I mean, that is just so horrifying that her harness, wasn't, I guess, locked into place or something to that effect.
Right. Yeah, I can only imagine. And I don't know if at that time, if there were safety buttons, like overrides or something. Like if she's like, hey, stop, I'm not fastened in. So I don't know what happened. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, after that accident, new safety features were added not only to Great Adventures roller coasters, but to roller coasters around the world.
Good. Wow.
To prevent things like this. Unfortunately, '87 was not done. On July 22nd, a ride operator started the Sarajevo bobsled ride when a guy was still getting on.
Oh my God. I don't think I knew this one.
Yeah, his leg was broken when the ride operator stopped the car.
Wow.
So basically, to say 87 was not a banner year for Great
A great
Adventure.
adventure, yeah.
And basically, it adversely affected attendance. So, and a lot of rumors went around that, hey, the park's going to close.
Hmm.
In fact, at the end of 88, they say the park was about to lose its license to sell food, and attendance was so low that management considered closing, or at least figuring it needs some kind of new addition to get people back into the park. And do you know what 1989 brought?
The water park.
Nope.
No.
No, that came 11 years later.
Oh, right. The
89, it was another coaster. Do you remember?
Oh, shoot. I should know this too.
It was one
Because
of
it
my
was a famous
favorites.
kind of one,
What
wasn't it?
was that?
It was somewhat like well known or famous or no?
Yes. It was called the Great American Scream Machine.
Yes, that was it.
And at the time, it was the world's tallest and fastest looping coaster,
Mm-hmm.
putting Great Adventure back on the map as the home of a record-breaking coaster. And attendance started to grow again. Then the following year, you had some other coasters like the Shockwave stand-up, and you had things like the Laser Adventure and Bugs Bunny's 50th birthday. Those were all big attractions. Now, 91 was a strange year because you know who the new owner of Six Flags was?
Michael Jordan.
No, but that would be cool. Time Warner.
Oh, get out.
So, talking about coming full circle, you started with the guy that was the grandson of the Warner Brothers.
Don't worry. 10 years from now, Jeff Bezos will own Great Adventure.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jeff Bezos will own Earth.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, Six Flags then became owned by Time Warner, who over the next couple of years actually increased their stake in Six Flags. And so in 91, they added an area called Adventure Rivers, where they moved some of like you had the Flumes rides, and they added some more water-based rides over at the Adventure Rivers, and they added some more shows like the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves stunt show based on their Warner Brothers movie.
Right.
Basically, that stunt show was basically a test run for what was to come in 92. Do you remember what stunt show came in 92?
Indiana Jones.
No. That's down at Disney. The Batman Stunt Spectacular.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Batman Stunt Spectacular was actually the big draw. What's that?
No, I said say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Batman Stunt Spectacular was the big draw in 92 because there were actually no new rides.
Yeah.
But people poured into the park to see this Stunt Spectacular.
Sounds like fun.
Another thing happened at the end of 92 that became a staple of Great Adventure, Fright Fest.
Yep.
Where in October, or during the Halloween season, they would, for the weekends, because that's what it was open after Labor Day, they would go and you would have people dressed, in horror makeup and costumes throughout the park, scaring the park goers.
Right, and that was very popular because I had friends who used to go down to that Fright Fest.
Yeah. Next season though, everything changed with Warner Brothers now in control. So they actually divided the park into 9 new sections, basically going along with the whole theming, like Adventure Rivers. So they actually, in these different areas, would pipe in different music to go along. So you had Movie Town, and then you would have, like on the boardwalk, you'd have some ragtime favorites.
Nice.
And then on Main Street, which was more colonial themed, it was like fife and drum music. And to top it all off, came in 93, Batman the Ride. Do you remember Batman the Ride?
Oh, very well I do, because I got sick on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Not exactly for those that was sensitive stomachs.
No, as I'm saying, I have such a sensitive stomach. I wish I had taken Dramamine that day because they would have changed everything.
Yeah, it was one of those, like I was telling you, Pete. It's not like a regular roller coaster, Pete. It's not like a regular roller coaster. And then as soon as we started going, I'm like, oh yeah, this might actually be worse.
Yeah, because we had our feet dangling and getting whipped around like I'm in a washing machine.
Yes, it was the first inverted coaster.
Yes,
it actually had debuted the year before at Six Flags Great America, but they introduced it to Great Adventure in '93.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I loved it.
Oh yeah,
and it just was a learning lesson for me.
And again, the theme music, the Batmobile in front, the walking through, it's like the alleys littered with pails and graffiti, through Gotham. It got dark, and it was really cool the way they the whole theme that they put to it.
Totally.
So Warner Brothers decided to actually add more over the next few years, movie themed attractions like the Right Stuff Mach 1 Adventure Simulator, the Lethal Weapon Water Stunt Spectacular. Remember I talked about that water ski show in that, and how that would be reused. That was actually a cool one. Do you remember that one? The water stunt.
I vaguely do remember it. I don't think I saw it though.
It was very cool the way they did that.
Yeah.
They had, again, it was water ski chases going on. A lot of the props, like the scenery, they had set explosions. They even had like this mini tank that was part of the act.
Hey Nick, I'm gonna grab a charger. But I see my laptop dying, but keep talking. I'm gonna be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, dude.
Thanks.
No problem. Well, we went on to '98, and Warner Brothers was no longer the owner of Six Flags anymore. It became owned by Premier Parks. And in '99, the first floorless roller coaster, standing at 146 feet and featured 7 feet flipping inversions, was actually introduced. And that roller coaster was called Medusa, which would actually later be renamed Bizarro. So that was a pretty cool coaster. In fact, actually, that year actually brought 27 new rides. So Great Adventure at that time could claim it had more rides than any other park in the world, with 67 screen machines, including 9 roller coasters and 24 kiddie rides. How we doing there, Pete?
Look at that, man. I'm already all set, and I grabbed a granola bar and a Bai coconut drink.
Yay!
So go on. What were you? So
well, in '99, first Warner Brothers was no longer the owner of Six Flags.
Okay.
But the new investors actually went back to focusing on the rides, and in '99 they actually introduced 27 new rides.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
And at that time, Great Adventure had more rides than any other park in the world.
Huh. Who knew?
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, that's I'm saying that they've set like a record for having the most, rides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, 2000, you had mentioned the water park.
Yep.
2000, Six Flags Great Adventure opened Hurricane Harbor.
I couldn't remember the name of it. Hurricane Harbor.
Yep, that's the one we mentioned on the last episode. That this was a 45-acre water park, and to open, to dedicate the park, several cast members of Gilligan's Island were there, along with Christine Todd Whitman, our governor. Why, I don't know, but anyway, I don't think there was any Gilligan themed ride, but yeah, they figured water, Castaway.
I wonder if Chris Christie ever went to Great Adventure and shut the whole park down so he could use it for the day.
Yeah, there's pictures of him in the lawn chair there.
Yeah, exactly. In Hurricane Harbor in the water, the tidal wave pool. Yeah. 2001,
they actually brought in another new coaster, a 230-foot tall mega coaster called Nitro. Did you ever go on that coaster?
I did not. I remember seeing the commercials though for it.
Dude, that is again, going back to the last time I went to Great Adventure, that is one of my favorite roller coasters. Like pure roller coasters. It is a tall, long roller coaster ride, and it's actually a favorite of roller coaster enthusiasts.
Did it also have loops in it?
I believe it does. It definitely had twists and like the loops, the side loops.
Right.
But the next year they did no new rides, but they actually introduced Six Flags Winter Lights drive-through adventure. So the first time they did something in the winter for Great Adventure, and didn't really how do you want to say, didn't cost them the whole amount they would do for introducing a whole ride. Yeah, 2003 they introduced the Superman Ultimate Flight ride. I never got to ride that one.
No,
that one is also, I think, an inverted coaster where also instead of your legs dangling like under you, it kind of brings it back so you're in a flying position.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Now I remember this coaster. I was trying to like remember what it looked like, and then I recall it was, I think it was a commercial or a YouTube video I saw where they showed it in action, Yeah.
Well, in 2004 was the 30th anniversary of Great Adventure, and no new headlining rides were added. But they updated some of the shows. They had a Batman versus Catwoman show at the Stunt Arena in Movietown, which was the fourth Batman-related stunt show to be introduced since 1999.
Wow.
And it was actually really elaborate, including new effects and a hot air balloon and exploding subway cars.
Yeah, I like it.
But the biggest thing of 2004, what was introduced?
Was it a roller coaster or no?
Nope.
It wasn't, huh? Not the safari park.
Nope. That's been going. The big thing for 2004 was the following.
The following. Oh.
Are you not hearing? I guess. Wait. Are you not hearing my computer? I'm playing Mr. Six. Yeah. The mascot for Great Adventure.
Oh, that guy.
the Venga Boys. We like to party.
Yes. Oh man. Thank God they got rid of that character.
Yeah, Mr. Six was introduced in 2004, but retired in 2009.
Yeah.
He was actually played by Danny Thiessen, who was actually a British dancer and choreographer who's 5 years older than me.
They did a good job with the old man mask.
They really did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the following year, they actually did a whole revamp and created the Golden Kingdom, a mythical new jungle-themed land occupying an 11-acre tract, including the site of the former Bugs Bunny Land children's area.
Mm-hmm.
Also included was a 1,000-seat theater and a 33,000 square foot exhibit area, complete with viewing windows, which allowed visitors to come face to face with a show with a cast of Bengal tigers. And the Bengal tigers' names are Balin, Farouk, Hara, Shandi, Reina, Kirill, and
Siegfried.
No, Roy. Okay. No. It was the last one was called King Dakar. Does King Dakar sound familiar?
King Dakar?
Yeah.
Like King. I don't know. King Dakar. What I know that from?
Well, King Dakar was the name of something else there too.
A roller coaster.
Yeah.
No. It was?
Roller coaster. Right. And not only was it a roller coaster, it is a 456-foot tall roller coaster.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Which reaches speeds of 128 miles an hour.
Wow.
In 3.5 seconds.
Yeah. So like, getting into a, I don't know, a rocket ship.
Yeah. To this day, it's still the world's tallest roller coaster.
Really?
Great Adventure houses the world's tallest roller coaster.
Yay, us.
Yay. Yeah. And over the next few years, you would have some other things like Wiggles World, which also closed up. And what they started to do was actually they started renaming some of the rides because you already had Batman and you also had Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So they rethemed some of the other rides and also took some rides from their other parks and rethemed them. And basically, they kind of came up with like a whole Justice League theme. And they introduced a 4D ride called Justice League Battle for Metropolis.
Oh, nice. I would like to go on that.
Same here. I again haven't been back in 16 years, so
Yeah.
it would be good to go. Now, for this year, a Jersey Devil coaster was supposed to open, but
What?
yeah, that's been scrapped for now until at least the 2021 season. Yes, a Jersey Devil roller coaster is scheduled. So, I as soon as we can, yeah, I'd like to go to Great Adventure, although it is open at the time being. Certain things are not. And of course, precautions have to be taken, but yes, yeah, Great Adventure is open. And
I know
so
it's open.
And so is the safari part.
I know it's open because my friend's son, like he went with what do you call it? Like I think a bunch of his friends and some parental guardians that were there. So and I was like, what? Like Great Adventure is open? I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
So
I just want to get to a couple of things here. A couple of our other friends, actually, someone you might know, Pete, Anne-Marie Plesnick.
I sure do.
She remembers riding lightning loops and seeing money and contents of people's pockets fall out after the ride.
Even on Rolling Thunder, I used to see that like 2 cars ahead of me, I'd see shit just like flying by me,
And as long as it's good things and not like something like someone getting sick there, but
yeah. If your cell phone like goes flying out, that's not good.
And our friend Krista Ryerson said she remembers riding the Great American Scream Machine for the first time. Well, her stepdad had brought her there for her 10th birthday.
Oh wow!
Saying you're in double digits now. Time for a real coaster.
Yeah.
And she's been hooked on roller coasters ever since. And she remembers also going with our friend Ryan Gottlieb on Rolling Thunder right after a rainstorm.
Oh, great.
I'm sure that was actually a little freaky, again, being an old-style wooden roller coaster. So
yeah. Like rotting floorboard, not floorboard, but part of the track is like rotting off, from the rain.
Well, it's that time, Pete. It's time to switch gears and actually talk about Jersey, not Jersey.
Yay.
Theme park.
The game that's sweeping the nation.
Yes. Okay, so this week, your thing is the theme park in New Jersey or not New Jersey? And as you always give mention that, yes, there may be another theme park with the same name in another state.
Okay.
But if one exists in New Jersey, it's Jersey.
Gotcha.
So we're going to start out with Casino Pier.
This might be a trick question because there are casinos in other wonderful states of our union.
I'll have you know that Casino Pier is in Gotham City, damn you.
Bane. I'm surprised you didn't come in before when we were talking
Batman the Ride.
Batman.
Are you kidding me? I don't want to feel that Batman's ego. Come on. We're talking about Bane. Six Flags is lucky I didn't blow it to smithereens with their lack of Bane rides. I was quite upset.
You know what? We'll suggest to them that a Bane ride should be introduced for next season.
You do that, Nicholas Franco and Peter.
Thank you, Bane.
Bane is thrilled about Robert Pattinson taking on the role of Batman.
Well, that does go to prove, though, vampires do turn into bats.
Yes.
Think about that for a moment. But anyway,
yep. I got it. So,
besides Gotham City,
I said no to your Casino Pier in New Jersey.
But you were tricked. Ha ha ha. It is in Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Gosh darn it.
We actually spoke about Casino Pier in our Boardwalk edition.
Oh, great. And must have missed that.
Okay. Dutch Wonderland.
All right.
No relation to Boogie Wonderland.
sticking to my guns again, like I did before. Not in New Jersey.
And you are correct. That's Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania,
Yay.
Dutch country. How about Santa's Village?
Huh. Santa's Village. Bet you it's not in New Jersey, but I'm going to say it is in New Jersey.
Santa's Village is in Jefferson, New Hampshire.
Gosh darn it. You're going to tell me Jefferson Township, New Jersey.
Well, okay. We had Santa, but how about the whole land of make-believe? Meow, 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 King Friday.
Land of make-believe, huh? I'm going to say it's in New Jersey. I've only got
you are
one.
correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Yay!
New Jersey.
I was like, please let me get at least 2. So,
okay, how about Nickelodeon Universe? Jersey or not Jersey?
oh, boy. Oh, my God. I want to say that's New York, but I'll say it's not New Jersey.
And again, this is the tricky one because there are others that exist, but one exists in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as part of the American Dream Mall.
Of course. God dang it. I totally forgot about that.
Again, go back to our episode 4, Malden,
Yes.
New Jersey. How about Bay Beach Amusement Park?
Bay Beach. No affiliation with Baywatch. I am going to say it is not in New Jersey.
And you are correct in saying so. That's in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This one's a gimme. Wild West City.
Is that, I'm going to say New Jersey, right?
Stanhope, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Going to Wild West City.
Stanhope,
with the
Stanhope House. That's a great venue. Go on.
What you call it? Wild West City. The theme song for that commercial was done by New Jersey's own Floyd
Uncle
Vivino,
Floyd.
Uncle Floyd. Yep.
Yeah.
How about Sea Breeze Amusement Park?
Not like the cocktail Sea Breeze.
No. I don't know if the cocktail is served there either.
Oh boy. I'm gonna say it is not in New Jersey.
And you would be correct. It's Rochester, New York.
All right, good. I thought it was like a trick question because Sea Breeze just sounds so kind of New Jersey, but it's
exactly.
I had a feeling you're pulling the rug out from underneath me there with that one.
How about Gillian's Wonderland Pier?
Okay.
Or
I'm going to say this is in New Jersey, Gillian's.
And you're right. It's in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Yeah, that sounded very familiar.
How about Fun Spot, America?
Fun Spot?
Yes.
Fun Spot. Not in New Jersey.
And you're right. Kissimmee, Florida.
Nice.
Kissimmee, Florida, almost the home of the Houston Astro farm team, but they decided better than to call it the Astros. Otherwise, they would have the Kissimmee Astros. But anyway, they decided to name themselves the Kissimmee Cobras.
Yeah, they made a good decision.
Finally, Playland's Castaway Cove. Jersey or not Jersey?
Well, so there's isn't there a Playland in Rye, New York, I believe? So
I believe it is.
I am going to say it's not in New Jersey.
And by saying so, yes, you are wrong. Playland's Castaway Cove is in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Gosh darn, I should
along
know
with
that.
Gillian's Wonderland Pier.
There was a voice in the back of my head saying, like, I think it's in New Jersey, but yeah, I decided to go against that voice.
Well,
nice.
I hope everyone enjoyed talking a little about not Action Park. How about Great Adventure?
Yeah.
But what are just really quick, Pete? What are some of your favorite memories though with Great Adventure?
Boy, I mean, no question about like the log flume, boy. That was just so much fun. You know, that sense of wonder too when you're, in high school and going down like those the long ass ramps, into the pool, getting soaked. You know what I mean? On a really hot day.
That was refreshing.
And I loved Free Fall, obviously. They had a very good arcade there, as you just said.
Yeah. No, they had some cool arcades there. Like I said, that was my first, where I darted first. The first time I went there, because actually the first time I went, it was actually sort of a makeup trip because of back in the day, I was in Boy Scouts, and the day of an actual class trip where we were going to another theme park, I added an actual event for Boy Scouts that I was needed at.
Huh.
So myself, Rich Garcia, and Horatio Campillo all were at this event, but our scoutmaster, Mr. Cahey, decided to reward us with a trip down to Great Adventure.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was really cool. And we camped out at right near Great Adventure is a place called Jellystone Park. Do not feed the bears. They're all after picnic baskets.
Gotham's favorite villain, by the way, has confirmed that the log flume ride is still there. Thank you, Bane.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Bane. But what's that?
What were some of your favorite rides there, Nick? I mean,
oh yeah, well, like you said, the flumes were definitely cool and refreshing. Also, the splashdown waterfall one, the one that I said you would also just go on the bridge afterwards, and then just get soaked like to the bone.
Yes.
That was totally refreshing. Not refreshing. That would be strange. Refreshing on a hot day, and loved Nitro, Great American Scream Machine. Although I remember the season that it opened. It was near the. It was about a couple of hours before the park closed, and we went to go to the Scream Machine, and the line was about an hour and a half to get to the Scream Machine.
Wow.
We got to the Scream Machine. The gate wouldn't close, so they had to close down the ride, so we didn't get to ride it. So that kind of sucked. But I did get to go back, and I did get to ride it many a time, so definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, and I also just loved, I mean, like, I've been to the water park before. That was great. And the safari was just awesome. I think I'm pretty sure I still have video from the safari of, like, the giraffe, like, putting, his head, like, into my sunroof. I think I had a Toyota back then when I went with my cousins. Like, my cousins in Belgium, like, they still talk about that safari to this day. And I took them when they were, I mean, they're in their, like, late 20s now. And I took them when they were, teenagers, like late teenagers, like 17, 18. Yeah. So.
Yeah. A lot of people have good memories of this park. And you know what? It may not have come out to what Warren Leroy wanted it to be, like the fierce competitor of Disney World and like this huge thing. But for what it was over these years, I'll take it.
Definitely. No, it's held up. I mean, it's, still it gets a ton of visitors.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to remind everyone to subscribe and also like our podcast. Find it on your favorite podcast app, be it iTunes, be it Google Podcasts, be it Stitcher, Spotify, Pocket Casts. Got a pocket full of casts, and I'm headed to the arcade. Don't have a lot of money, but I'm bringing everything I made. Sorry, I've got Pac-Man fever. But like and subscribe. Also, check us out on our Facebook page. Check us out at Exit What on Twitter.
I have a question for you, Nick Franco.
Yes, Bane.
Did you really just make a Pac-Man fever reference?
Yes, I did. It's driving me crazy, though.
Are you going out of your mind?
Yes.
Did you not think Bane did not know of the existence of Pac-Man fever?
Yes. Yes, that was a pandemic that hit the world many years ago.
I love when Bane chimes in.
I love it. I love it. And also, find us at if you can email us at whatexitpodcast@gmail.com, and a couple of other plugs. Our theme song was done by Chris Madd of Serious Matters. Pick up his new album.
Yep.
Mistaking Wasps for Dragonflies, as I drop it. And also our friend Christian Cortez has a great YouTube channel called Arcade Productions. Please check it out. Hopefully we get to see Anderson Harbor and some other cool things that Christian has produced. And for anyone that wants to create their own podcast and talk about whatever theme parks or water parks or malls or anything else you want to talk about, go to a shared universe. Ming and Mike will set you up, and Christian and Chris will help you out, be your engineer, and take you through, and you will have your own podcast before you know it.
Yeah, great service.
So, anything else you want to bring up or plug or anything there, Pete?
No, I don't think so. Looking forward to some future episodes, and if anybody has any ideas or suggestions for future podcasts, what they'd like to hear as Jersey related, please, let us know.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Via all the various social media channels.
Oh, definitely. And by the time we do our next podcast, I will be older, so I get to go into the next decade of existence. But one last note: Wakanda forever.
Yeah, love it.
We miss you, Chadwick. And if you want to see what a true hero is about, read about what he was doing when he was making these movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, for What Exit Jersey Stories, I've been Nick Franco.
I'm Pete Riario.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Take care. See you.